Jeff, Saturday of ESPN. Allen versus Hurts for, I think it would be the second time on Sunday at Highmark Stadium. Good morning, it's Jeremy and Joe. It's a Football Friday here on WGR. This Bills-Eagles matchup should be a rainy game, by the way. A little warmer and maybe a little bit rainier. I'll be in the stands for this game, and I saw that it's supposed to start right around kickoff, and that cold rain is about as bad as it gets when it comes to weather at the stadium. So, cold and wet. Not great. In terms of impact on the game itself, I'm not sure we'll get a lot of that. I guess we'll see how hard the rain is. 803-0550 is the phone number. On this matchup, if you got a thought on it, and I want to get to a comparison of the quarterbacks, the money of them, and how it impacts the roster in a second. But let's go to Walter in Toronto first. What's up, Walter?
How you doing, guys? Really like your little hockey talk there about the juniors. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Good.
It's always a fun tournament. Just regarding Sunday's game, I mean, these teams seem to be in the same kind of situation. They both made the playoffs. They're more or less locked into their spot. Where do you see this game on Sunday in terms of competitiveness? Are they going to be like Allen's ankle? He might just play a quarter, because what are these teams playing for? The Bills this week and next.
Right.
Is it just kind of let's heal
it's
up?
Seeding.
And,
yeah, I mean, it's seeding at most, right? Like,
yeah, but even like I said, they're more or less locked in that fifth spot, right?
Yep. Well, they're not locked into it. I mean, right now, just to lay it out, the Bills are actually the 6th seed at the moment. They would have to win their final 2 games, and even then they could still be the 6 instead of the 5. 5's their most likely, but they're definitely not locked into it.
And, it's almost better to be up on those as a visitor. You'd rather be in the 5th seed than the 7th, because it's so unpredictable, the NFL. And in the AFC, with all the big guns gone, Mahomes and Burrows and stuff, the Bills may have a home game, God willing, if they win in the wild card, they may have a home game in a divisional round. Wouldn't that be something? Close out the building with a playoff game.
Yeah. Thanks, Walter, for the call. It would take a lot for that to happen. I mean, you could get it at the AFC Championship, but to get a home game in the second round, let's just play it out. You'd have to get the 5 to start with, and then if you were to get yourself to the 5, Denver's obviously the 1 seed. So let's say they're through and they play. Let's say Houston beats New England. That's possible, right? That's very possible. Houston beats New England, but you would also need like the Chargers to beat the Jaguars, and then the Bills would have to beat the Steelers. So you need 3 results to all go exactly towards the road teams. You need the road teams to sweep the home teams in the first round, and you need to be the 5. That's how you get a home game in the second round. Very unlikely, possible, and if there was a year where you could see that happening, maybe this is the year. But yeah, I'm not counting on that. I'm not expecting the Bills to do anything like that with Josh Allen. I think there are levels to holding a guy back and conservativeness with injuries when, the meaning of this matchup is, again, why part of, I said earlier, like, they kind of wasted this game putting it this late in the year. The stakes for both teams are not that great. And part of that is who the Patriots play and not having much belief that the Bills will get the help they need to win the AFC East. If the Patriots had left on their schedule, games against Seattle and Jacksonville, then I'd be all into, all right, all out, let's go, because they could easily lose those 2 football games. But it's Brady Cook and Quinn Ewers. So that kind of kills off your stakes in this one. I don't think you bench Allen like that. I don't think they will bench Allen like that. I think what you could see, though, if the foot is still bothering him a little bit and they don't want to go nuts with it because the playoffs are coming and they'd like him to get as healthy as possible into that, what do? You play a more conservative game plan on offense. And not like they don't already do that sometimes, but it's all James Cook. It's running the football. It's even more, I know, not what people want to hear, but it's more screens, right? It's more, plays that have a quick decision to be made by the quarterback so that he's not hanging onto the ball and running around and trying to buy time because nobody's open. I think all you're doing is you're trying to avoid those situations as much as possible. Avoid Allen's got to play hero ball a little bit here and buy time and run around, and he's got to, even run the ball. So you take out your designed runs, you take out your long developing plays. Part of this, though, is the Bills don't really do that a lot anyway. Like, a lot of their offense is quick game, bubble screen, James Cook, Ty Johnson out in the flat, quick reads to, quick slants to Keon Coleman when he's active. Like, that's a lot of their offense. But it could even be a higher percentage, I think, on Sunday. And that will go, by the way, for just Allen. I think conservativeness injury-wise with everybody else, you can't really manufacture a game plan with other positions the way you could do that with your quarterback. You can design a game plan around your quarterback that's designed for him to take no contact. You can't really do that with a safety, right? Like, you can't do that with Jordan Poyer. You can't design a defensive game plan that is around, Poyer's not going to have to run sideline to sideline on every play. Like, you're playing defense. On some level, you got to be able to run around the entire field. And that goes for, like Taron Johnson's limited yesterday, and Cam Lewis is dealing with a little bit of an injury, and, you can just sit those guys out, I think, if you want to be conservative on this front. Quarterback, I don't think you can really do it. 803-0550 is the phone number on this matchup. Let's go to Rob in Connecticut. What's up, Rob?
Oh, hey, Joe. Merry Christmas once again. Hello, Owen. And I just talked to Callie. So, listen, Joe, the thing I was thinking about, I'm not too concerned about the quarterback duo, dueling it out.
Yeah.
Josh Allen all the way. But this is run all day long. This is Cook versus Barkley, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the Bills' defense is lacking in the run game. So, I mean, it's just going to be Cook and Barkley all day long. That's what I foresee in this game. Few passing here and there, but I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of outcome this is, with Cook and Barkley. So that's my take on this.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Rob. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Those two players, last year's leading rusher against this year's leading rusher. And if the weather plays into it at all, I mean, usually it doesn't too much, but it's supposed to be a little rainy. These teams want to run the ball. They like to run the ball. And one's had much more success doing it this year than the other. I mean, Cook leads the league in rushing, and he also leads the league in yards over expectation by almost 100. He's at 354. Derrick Henry is in second place at 256. Barkley, by the way, if you're wondering what kind of season he's having, he is only 81 yards over expectation. Cook is 354. So if you do that by attempt, I mean, Cook is gaining a yard, 1.25 yards per attempt more than he's really supposed to. And Barkley is 0.3. Like, he's much closer to, he's about doing what is expected of you. His line's been a little banged up. Lane Johnson this year, I think, is hurt a bit. So, yeah, it's not just, though, the season Barkley's having. It is also that the Bills, have one of the worst rush defenses in football. And if they've been lit up by the likes of Sean Tucker this year, then what could Saquon Barkley do to them? That is a bit terrifying, sure. But I wonder what their game plan looks like. I still think, what was the game that really showed this? The game against Pittsburgh was this a bit, right? Cincinnati was another one. I don't know. I still believe that even though the Bills' rush attack is really poor, that part of that is their own choosing. That part of that is their own we're okay with this because the trade-off is we have one of the better pass defenses in the league, which is also true. And there have been a couple examples, not a lot, not a ton of them, but there have been a couple games this year where New England maybe was another one of these. They sell out to stop the run, and they're able to do it. Usually that's when Shaq Thompson's available to them. I'm not sure they can do that when Terrell Bernard is their middle linebacker. You know, Derrick Henry in the playoffs last year is the same thing. I'm not telling you they are a stout rush defense when they decide that. But if they really, really wanted to commit to stop the run in a certain game, I think they are capable. I think, again, part of it is they are willing to be this bad against the run because it has made them one of the elite pass defenses in the league. And that is more valuable. It is. If they had a better roster, you could be good at all of it. But I think when you have a defensive roster that is lacking, I think you have to choose your battles. And I think this is a battle they've chose for a long time. This was true of them in the first couple of years of McDermott, where they had one of the best pass defenses in the league, and every once in a while, a Jonathan Taylor would light them up, and you'd go, they can't stop the run. And I would always say to that, like, well, part of that is their own choosing. Taron Johnson spoke to that a couple of times a few years ago. Like, yeah, we want to invite them to run the ball. And part of inviting them to run the ball is your personnel is a little lighter, and, you know, teams are going to be able to do it sometimes. So I don't know. What is that to say? I think it is interesting to me what they'll do, whether they'll sell out to stop the run in this game. Dare Jalen Hurts to beat you. They have great receivers, and sometimes they will be able to do it. But I do kind of think this could be one of those games where it's not as much nickel, and there's more 3 linebacker sets, especially now that they're healthier at that position, and they go heavy, and this is the opposite. This is one of those few games where the Bills say, let's shut down Saquon Barkley, and let's dare Jalen Hurts to beat us from the pocket. I could definitely see that being their game plan. Let's go to Eric and Elma. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Merry Christmas. Thanks for taking my call. So my question is about, it's similar to, you're talking about, like, sitting players, protecting them against injury.
Yeah.
I wonder what your thoughts are about the Bills' kind of second game plan a little bit. It kind of seems like, against the Browns last week, we were looking past them a little bit, like, really not trying to show anything game plan-wise, particularly on defense, very vanilla defense. Wondering, is that something you see in the next few games, given that these games don't have as much meaning as the prior games?
Yeah, that's a good question, Eric, and I do think that that's probably likely, that you're not going to see their best plays in the next 2 weeks. I think part of that could also be the Allen injury, and maybe you're limited in what you can do. Like, some of their best plays are Allen runs, honestly. And do you want to show that in the next 2 weeks when he's also got the foot injury? I don't think you really need to. It's tough to ever know, though, like, what degree they actually do it. Any of these teams. What are they saving versus what do they cook up, in the next couple of weeks? Are there plays that we could see in they play, let's say they get through Pittsburgh. They play Jacksonville in the second round, and they run this play we haven't seen all year that is amazing and works, and it's a touchdown. You could write the story of, they were saving that play all year. But I always wonder how much of it is that and how much of it is these coaches go to work and they create something that they think will work before that game. And, they didn't really create this play in September and save it. No, they created it in January. It's tough to know when you don't really always get the full honesty from the coaches on stuff like that, because they're not going to always tell you. Shanahan will tell you. Shanahan tells you a lot these days. You could sit down with him for an hour and he'll tell you every little piece of his offense, it feels like now. But most coaches are not. Billy in Toronto next. What's up, Billy?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Listen, I see it a little bit differently. I want us – when we came the closest to basically winning the Super Bowl was that game where where Mahomes went down and scored with 13 seconds left. And it was an absolute shootout. And I think there's not a team, except maybe the LA Rams if they get there, that can go with us toe-to-toe when Josh sits in the pocket or runs around and scrambles and throws the ball 45 times. Nobody is beating us. I don't want to see a mixture. I don't want to see a little bit or try to establish the run. These last two games, and I know we don't want to get guys hurt, but I want us to put on tape. This is how you're going to beat us. We're coming out, and you better score 40 because if you don't, you're not beating us. Simple as that. And if we do that, and they do get it on tape, for 2 weeks they see, hey, look at the way Buffalo's playing now. This is Katie bar the door football. Well, then maybe we can run the ball when it's in the playoffs, and they see that we've come with a different approach. I want us to show something absolutely different of what we're gonna produce. I don't think we win the Super Bowl if we try to run the ball. Let Josh do his thing, and let's blow people out up and down the field. And if our defense gives up 35, I know Josh will score 38 or 45 for us. That's how I see it, guys.
Yeah.
Later.
Thanks, Billy, for the call. Listen, you are speaking my language. I just don't think they have the guys to execute that type of offense. Do we need to see any more? Do we need to see any more games to know that you want to play that way? I want them to play that way, but I don't know that they can with these receivers. Not to beat a dead horse, but you want to do that. They did it against Tampa this year, and that's kind of it. Baltimore is a comeback. It's a little different, like where, all right, it was pretty evident that going into a game, your plan was let's unleash Josh and sling it around the field. They did that against the Bucs, and it worked, and that's kind of it. And I don't, part of that is their own doing and their own choices, but that is also personnel. And the way that Brandon Cooks is dropping footballs right now, and Coleman has become so unreliable for them, and they don't even trust Gabe Davis right now to be active during game days. Josh Palmer is a ghost. I mean, there's nobody. If Kincaid was healthy, maybe it would feel a little different for me. Because that'd be a guy rock solid that you could just really rely on. But without him being healthy, I don't know. I don't feel like they can get away with that. They've built the team they've built, and I think they have to lean in at least some to what they've built. And they've built an offense whose best units outside of your quarterback are your offensive line and your running back and your tight ends. And what that means is you're going to have to run the football. Can they win the Super Bowl running the ball? Listen, I think they can, but it has to come with Big Allen plays, obviously. I don't think you can have these, Josh threw for, what's the right game to pick here? The Pittsburgh game. 123 yards Allen had in that game, and they won the game easily, and it was a lot of running, and Cook went off. Like, you can have a game like that in the playoffs, but to have 4 like that in the playoffs, I don't see it. You got to have more than that. And that's my biggest worry right now. My biggest worry is that if they need to get to that type of game, that they might not be capable of winning it. 803-0550 is the phone number on this matchup against Philadelphia. Some good calls there, 803-0550. If you want to jump in here on a Football Friday, we'll have Improving the Game Plan when we come back. So that's back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills. Sal coming up at 8. By the way, Chris Brown at 8:30 as well, here on Jeremy and Joe on WGR.